After my mini rant yesterday, I've decided to really go above and beyond with the transparency on all of our websites, especially on the sales page, and probably mention on the learn pages or the kind of about pages that I'm mainly calling learn at the minute, 'cause we're an educational company, nonconformity company, first and foremost. But I like the idea. A lot of our businesses are offering a free program with then maybe a paid or a more expensive paid service. So I just like the idea at the top of every service page putting this program is free, but if you wanted to go down this route, this is $39 one-off fee, or $29 a month, or $11 a month, whatever it is, just upfront there and then as the first or one of the first things people read. And I guess what I'm also going to do is experiment with this with some split testing on landing pages for the same businesses, but also just split testing it, because we're split testing the pricing on many of the different businesses with one-off fees, recurring fees, free, etc., mixing in free with paid services. So yeah, my video yesterday, I just was having a rant about people just be doing all this sneaky business, sneaky. Yeah. And it's easy online because you don't have many costs. We've just been to try and get our passport photos in Nottingham, but the place that we're going to has just closed down. They were the oldest business in West Bridgford, the oldest business. They were called Margot Photo, or Photo Margot, and I've experienced them once. They were recommended, and because we were trying to take a passport photo for Vito, of our son, to go to Lanzarote at the start of this year, and it was just, yeah, they are comical. I went there and the service was incredible. You could tell the woman loved doing a job. And then we were just looking at them online, and it took us to a housing estate in West Bridgford, or on the outskirts. And we were like, well, this doesn't look right. And it was basically somebody's house. And then we looked on the listings, and we circled back, and we were like, well, it looks like it's in a garage. Let's just go there and have another go. And we went there, and a guy was in his garage, and he's basically the picture framing dude. Photo Margot was closed down, and we had a lovely chat with this guy called Mike, and there were 5 of them there. He did the picture framing, they had the photos going, which we had a great service for. We wanted to go and get visa photos for all of us today, and yeah, he was a lovely bloke, and just said they've had to close. There's 5 of them. They would have had to put the prices up by 60 or 70% because of all of the tax increases with our current government. So yeah, corporation tax increases and all the other increases. He just said it was impossible for them, and they were the oldest established business in West Bridgford. So it's a shame to see someone like that go, and that was the problem with the Google listings maps. We ended up meeting this guy at his house, in his garage, and he's still doing the picture framing, and he's just had to bring it into his house, and he's doing well still. But he just said he was having a big moan about the government. Apparently there's a road tax coming in on the table, where they're going to now tax, another tax basically, to tax you per mile on your vehicle. So yeah, it's just amazing, because if you think about the amount of money circling about with companies, if you think about all of the fast food chains, even the small, like Nando's, Burger King, McDonald's, they're not paying all the taxes, are they? And then you think about the chains, John Lewis, then the supermarkets, Asda and Sainsbury's, they're not paying all the taxes either, are they? And then there's the even bigger businesses, the behemoths, the Amazons, the Googles, the Facebooks. They're not paying their taxes, are they, in the country? Because they all have these offshore. The Guardian did a really good video about it, how Nando's get round their tax threshold here because they just have a naming rights business in another country. There's a whole network of it. If you just Google the Guardian Nando's tax avoidance, and a really young guy did a good report on it. And at the end of the year, whatever taxes they have, they just come up with a sum and go, oh, we'll just charge most of that for the naming rights over here. So the tax is deducted. So I just wonder, I'm always curious, like, all of these taxes are being introduced to smaller businesses. the smaller local businesses, but the bigger businesses are just not paying anything. And I would argue that they're paying, well, if they pay 10% of their taxes, it's more than 80% of the money that would be needed for all of this coming in. I mean, this is very, very basic calculations, but they are taking in well over 80% of the revenue and paying very little taxes. And the emphasis is all on, there's a black hole in the budget. Oh, I wasn't going to get political, was I? No, I wasn't going to get political, but it's just a load of nonsense, isn't it? Really. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? I'm going to get the Spanish digital nomad visa. We're going to get the French visas. We're going to research other countries. This Andorra. I'm going to get 4 or 5 passports. And I want to pay taxes. I do. But I want everybody to pay their taxes. I would argue that if all of the behemoths, the big companies, all of the larger ones, and then the medium-sized ones that are all taking in millions and millions, they're taking all the money. This small little photography place, they're not taking in very much, and they were just squeezed out of the business. Over 50 years established, had to close down. And the guy was just lovely, you know, and I had a lovely service there, and we were going back there because of the recommendation, the lovely service that we had. And it was like £8 for a passport photo, and it was just all done so professionally, and the photo is incredible. And obviously when you're doing a visa, you just want to make sure that, like, it's okay. You don't want any funny business in the application centre. So it's a shame. It's a real shame.